Hey, everybody. Federal Defense Attorney Ronald Chapman here. Just jumping on to talk about the Bryan Kohberger sentencing, which just happened today. No surprises here, 4 life sentences. But there's a huge issue with Kohberger's sentencing that we absolutely have to address, and that is the media. I was just on News Nation earlier today discussing the sentencing and what was going to occur. And one topic that we didn't get to, and certainly a topic that was a big part of the sentencing in this case, is the media's role in cases. One of the victims in this case stood up, and it was Bethany Funk, and she said that people on social media repeatedly harassed her. The media harassed her. They got the stories wrong, and people were making up stories just to satisfy their own needs, to entertain themselves, as she indicated. Now, we have a young girl who witnessed the aftermath of her friends killed in a very horrific crime and had to deal with now the media storm that happened around it. We have to really have a conversation with ourselves. How much is this 24-hour news cycle and the media and public's thirst for information impacting our cases, perpetuating our victims, recreating trauma over and over and over again? And what are we going to do to stop it? This is something that I addressed in my book, Truth and Persuasion in a Digital Revolution. In that case, we talk about something called hyper-reality. Hyper-reality is the concept that we live in an information age with information so fast moving that it copies itself over and over again. Somebody reads the headline of a news article, goes onto YouTube and creates an entire talk about that news article, potentially taking information out of context. That presentation is then copied by other people and perpetuated, and what we get is the most salacious version of everything that could exist by the time it gets to the end user. We got to put a stop to that. We as a society, as a media, have to put a stop to that, and that's why I wrote Truth and Persuasion. We need to focus on the truth, the reality, the individual human stories. Not once was Bethany able to get out in front of this and give her own story in a credible news outlet that would cover all of that. You know, one reason why people love Dr. Phil's show and why Merit Street Media has been such a great place to be in terms of providing information to the public is the lack of bias and the open platform that people often get in order to express themselves and their issues. I hope that platforms like that keep going on. News Nation is very much the same. Credible reporting, accurate stories, very little bias. I like to see those organizations moving forward. And I want to see that the more biased media reporting, those YouTubers out there who are just looking for clicks, it's going to be old. It's going to die soon. Carl Sagan tells us how we need to solve this problem. He's the astronomer, famous, who basically told us that technology was getting so fast and so complicated that we are going to turn to mysticism and crystals, ironic prediction, because we can't make sense of the reality around us. Well, that's exactly what's happening here. We're turning into people who live on a diet of suspicious media that is likely inaccurate, but it entertains us. I think Bethany Funk's comment, to entertain themselves, really gets at the heart of the matter. She correctly identifies very clearly that this media is not for reporting. It's not for truth. It is for the entertainment of those people. And so our criminal cases, horrific cases like this, turn into us cheering on gladiators in the arena and watching the brutality instead of us dealing with justice in a real way. I'm federal criminal defense attorney Ron Chapman, also dabble in a little philosophy. And I guess this is your philosophy lesson for the day. If you want to check out Truth and Persuasion, there's going to be a link in this video. Feel free to find it wherever books are sold. Feel free to Google it. And if you want to reach out, ronaldwchapman.com. Until the next video.